Thank you, John. Welcome back, everybody. So our next storyteller is a writer, editor, and actor from New England. She says she loves a good story, and she is here tonight to tell you one of her own. Everyone, please put your hands together for Betsy Aaron.
So one summer, I started to date this guy I'll call Chris. This came after a bunch of failed relationships. And my family were kind of scratching their heads, like, she's so nice, why doesn't she settle down? So Chris was the boyfriend I didn't tell anybody about, at least until I had to. I just couldn't handle the idea of having another failed relationship and being judged for that. So Chris and I met at a hostel, as it turns out, on the Oregon coast. We both went to the movie night, and we kind of kept making eyes at each other. And we decided to get some ice cream together afterwards. We had lots of laughs, and everything was really easy. I found out he was a flight attendant, and he needed to get to the Portland airport the next day. So I offered to give him a ride, since I was heading in that direction. We had great conversation, and we decided to stay in touch. He started making plans to fly for work more often to California so he could see me. One time, he even flew from his base in Minneapolis to take me out to lunch all the way in California. He was the prize of a guy. So, as it turned out, that he was a little confused about some things. Not perfect. He didn't want to be a flight attendant forever, and he was in the process of getting a divorce. I was going through a career change, and I'd taken some time off from work, so we had a lot of free time together, which made it a little tricky when I called home to account for my time, because I didn't want to tell anyone in my family about him. But my mom called one day, and she said she had this great idea. I want to go to Italy. So I told Chris that my mom and I were going to do this. We're going to fly through Paris. And he said, well, this is great. Meet me in Paris after you're done with your trip to Italy, and we'll travel. All he had to do was ask. So the thing was, though, I had to tell my mom about him, and I needed to let her know I wasn't going to fly back with her. So we met at a Denny's, and we sat down to eat, and the first thing my mom says is, I really want you to meet a nice guy. So I spilled the beans about Chris. And she got really quiet. And she said, am I going to get to meet him? I said, well, I really don't know if that's going to be doable. And really, I just didn't want anyone to meet him till it was more solid. But I could see the disappointment and the hurt in her eyes. So we went to Italy, and I went to Paris afterwards. And I was there a day before Chris. I did some sightseeing, and the morning he was going to get there, I went to a museum and was expecting him in the afternoon, and I walked into the hostel. We decided to stay in a hostel in the 16th arrondissement. And I walked in, and there was a note for me on the guest bulletin board, and I was so excited, and I opened it up, and it said, I didn't find you here, so I went home. So my heart just sunk into my feet, my eyes were stinging. And I went into the lounge area of the hostel just to gather myself. And there he was. He was sitting on the couch, his feet propped up on his suitcase, a knit hat pulled over his eyes, snoozing. I pulled the hat off his head, he stirred, and I held up the note to him. He said, it was just a joke. Not funny, I thought. And I thought, actually what is funny is how you start seeing people's true colors when they're not in their own element. And I thought this trip was going to probably make or break our relationship, but I really wanted it to work after so many failed attempts in the past. So we saw around Paris, we went to the Eiffel Tower, Champs-Élysées. We decided to get a train to go to Nice in the south of France, and then afterwards to Biarritz in the west. When we were going through the metro, I had to lug my suitcase up and down lots of stairs, and it was really hard. And he was like, you're kind of weak. And I was like, well, I don't know why he wouldn't want to help me. So we get to Nice, and we go out to eat. And, we were both on big budgets, or small budgets, actually. And this woman walked into the restaurant with long-stemmed roses, and he asked her to buy one. He wanted to buy one for me, from her. And it turned out he didn't have enough money on him to do it, and he asked if I would help fund the rest of it. I was so embarrassed that I gave it to him to save face. When we went to Biarritz, one day it was pouring buckets of rain, and there was a sort of medieval town nearby, and he insisted we go sightsee this town. I wanted to stay in and be cozy and read. He's like, you have no sense of adventure. And I realized he was not kind of the easygoing guy that I had thought he was. We went out to this town, and we ended up just getting soaked to the skin, going cafe to cafe just to stay dry, spending money that we didn't really have. After that, we went to Amsterdam because he had to get a flight for work out of Schiphol International Airport in a couple of days. When we got there, he just wanted to check out the red light district, and he insisted that I go with him. So I was really uncomfortable walking through these alleyways, seeing women in windows, and I told him, this isn't for me. And again, he didn't understand why I wasn't willing to be adventurous. I just stomped my way back to the hotel, and the next day when he left, I was relieved. I then made a reservation to go to a bed and breakfast in Bruges, Belgium. On the way, I had to transfer trains, and in the waiting area, there was this kind of down and out guy. He had this dark pall that he set all over the waiting area. He was just saying these nasty things in French, and he singled out this one woman. He clearly didn't know her, but he said that she was ugly and stupid, and she actually started crying. And I tried to keep my distance, but I realized the way he was treating her was the way Chris had started making me feel over time, though. So I got to Bruges. It was pouring rain again, and I made my way to the bed and breakfast. I entered the foyer of this building. It was on the first floor, and I knocked. No one answered. So I thought, okay, well, maybe they just went out to get some groceries. So my throat actually was starting to feel sore, and I sat on the cold stone steps going up to the second floor, keeping dry from the rain, but it was moist and damp, and my lungs started feeling congested. And I read my book. An hour went by. Nothing. Another hour, and I was just feeling worse and worse. A third hour went by, it was starting to get dark, and I'm like, okay, I need a plan B. So I braved the rain, and I tramped down to the center of the city, and I found a hostel. So I went in, they had a $13 bed in a shared room, and I'm like, I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna take a hot shower, and get that steam in me and feel better. They had these showers in these separate rooms, and the water was on a timer. And there wasn't really a place to put your stuff, so I scrunched up my pajamas in a corner, and I got under the faucet, and I pushed the button, and I was ready for that heated water, and ice cold water just splashed down on me, and I tried to stay away from it, and I just burst into tears. The water stopped on the timer, tried to dry off, got into my damp pajamas, and just went to bed. I realized that cold water on me was a wake-up call from a failed belief about this relationship. We had started at a hostel way on the other side of the world, and I had all this hope for this relationship. Then we were in Paris, where I started to see some of the true colors of Chris. Now, my plan B led me to yet another hostel, which bookended this relationship. It was a place where I could rest, get better, and mourn the end of this relationship. I decided next time, if another relationship came my way, I was going to introduce this person to everybody I knew to get their approval, so I wouldn't have to resort to a plan B to find out the truth. And as it turns out, I just did that. And that next guy who came along became my husband.